What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the OnPurpose Podcast, where you know it's our job to get you thinking, get you moving, getting you questioning life, maybe getting you reminded of something you promised yourself you're supposed to be doing, but maybe you dropped the ball, you got distracted. Just keeping it flowing and remembering every day we're not doing what we want to do. It's passed by, right? We don't get it back. So I'm honored to have you here. And this week I'm excited to sit down with Ryley Nahrgang, an ultra runner, EMT, and recovering alcoholic from Montana, who I love. I stumbled across, and for all the naysayers of social media and all the stuff that goes on, this conversation right here is because of social media, because Ryley shares his story authentically and real, and our paths cross. We have some stuff in common. But what drew me to him was that his story is as raw as it is inspiring. Less than 3 years ago, he was in an intensive care unit fighting for his life after alcohol withdrawals nearly took him out following a surgery. He went to the town of Butte. You know, I talk about Butte quite a bit, on crutches, restricted, humbled, and determined to rebuild. And today he runs to show young men in the community there is a way out of addiction. There's a whole lot of life waiting for you on the other side if you choose yourself. What I'm honored to do is, one, share this story with you, and then two, in late June, share the starting line at the Copper Kings 100 with Ryley, Trey, my son, and 147 others. So, Ryley, my friend, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What a great intro, man. Kind of making my head blow up a little bit there. Thank you.
Dude, I appreciate you being humble on that. But you know what's funny to me is sometimes we're so reluctant to accept praise for the things we're doing. And it's just
Yeah.
important that we tell people. And I just want to share with you, dude, thank you. Thank you for making the choices you did. Thank you for choosing to live the life you're doing. And especially thank you for sharing the story, not the highlights, but the story, so that other people in the world can see yours and go, maybe I can do something like that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all have a story. We all have, something that we've either done in our life or gone through in our life that, you know, we think defines us. And in a way it kind of does, but not in the way most people think. It's what you do with that, how you come back. You know, Stuff happens to us, some of our choosing, some of not, and you can either let it affect you for the rest of your life in a negative way, or you can let it affect you in a positive way.
Yeah, I love it. And you get a choice, right? Like
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. Things are
absolutely.
going to happen. We get to choose how we respond.
hmm Without a doubt. In treatment, there's a song, I think it's by Cody Jinks, who talks about which wolf you feed, the white wolf or the black wolf. And, every day, what wolf are you feeding today?
Yeah,
And I think about that a lot.
dude, I love it. All right, before we get going, dude, I know you're into it. Yeah, you're a fit dude. I see you running all the time, but I'm a little older. I gotta slow down. I gotta warm up. If I just try to jump in at your pace, Ryley, I'm gonna pull a hamstring or something. So
Oh,
the,
okay.
the podcast is the same. I got warm up questions for you. Are you ready for this?
Okay. Yeah, hit me with them. Let's go.
Well, you might have just answered the first one, but
Okay.
if your life has a theme song, what would it be?
Oh gosh. Uh, I'd probably have to go with the O'Reilly theme song, honestly. But the other song by Cody Jinks would go good too.
Oh, O'Reilly theme song?
Yeah, for the auto parts. So
Okay, just
I
'cause
guess
it's your
that's the
name or
best
what?
thing. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that was the only thing that came to mind right there.
All right. What's a favorite quote or mantra that you use to help you push through things?
I can do all things through Christ. That is absolutely the number one thing. And it is because it takes the burden off of me. And it is the truth. Whenever I'm in a rough situation, whether it's in an ultra or if it's, just in every normal day, I can do all things through Christ and I'll get through this too.
Love it. What's a habit or ritual you've been doing that gives you energy?
Sleep. No,
Yeah, that's a good one, dude. That's an underrated one.
it is. It is. I've really focused a lot on recovery. Actually, I'll stick with that, recovery and like sleep. I get 8 to 9 hours of sleep a day. I mean, you can ask, my parents, anybody around me. I go to bed at 8:30 at night, every night. I get up about 6 or 5:30 or 6. I get a good amount of sleep, and it's good sleep too. And I think that's the one of the main reasons that I keep being able to run how I run.
Yeah. Have you always been focused on recovery? Or is that something new for you?
No, no, I've always kind of been burn the candle at both ends of the stick. With my drinking, it was like that. Work, party, live the rock star life. And running can, I can teeter in that unhealthy side where I'm doing too much, and so recovery is very, very high on my priority list.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good balance. What about a favorite book?
I might have to give you two there because I got to go with the Bible, of course. It's, something that I lean into. I don't read as much as I should, but I do. But then I have to go to The Red Badge of Courage when I was a little kid. I don't
Okay.
know what it is, but I vividly remember myself reading that book. I still like that book. Sometimes if I see it at like a thrift store, I'll buy it. I think I have a couple copies upstairs right now.
Yeah, that's a good old classic for sure.
It is. I don't know what it is about it, but also I don't know. I haven't been always the biggest reader unless if I was in school. It's something I've tried. Audiobooks are great, especially when I'm doing my long runs and I'm out there for, 9 hours at a time. It's pretty good. Glaze has that great book out right now. I don't know if you've read it, but I tied a lot with his story. I really resonated with it.
Yeah, I haven't read it. It's like smile. If you're not smiling, you're doing it
Exactly.
wrong or
Smile if
something.
you're doing it wrong. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Yeah, I know him. I know his story a little bit. I need to try to get him on the show. Yeah, books are a big thing, especially like as I've gotten later, a little older, I have a little more time to read, and I just find that there's just so many just hidden messages in there that you can get depending on what mood you're in when you read it.
But yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see that.
All right, Riley, one more question for you, my man. If you had to describe the season of life you're in today with one word, what's your word?
That's a good one. Um, it's a battle. It's a battle. I'm going
Ooh.
with like a good battle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. Yeah, it is a battle, man. I love having that perspective too, right? Because that shapes you for if shit goes bad today, you're not offended, you're not taken off guard. You're like, okay, something's supposed to go bad. Like that's my test. That's where I grow.
Yep. Yep. Something happens. Okay. Well, it's here. What am I going to do with it? How am I going to
Yeah,
make this situation better? I
yeah.
don't
No,
have a
that's
choice.
no, you don't. Like you could ignore it. That usually doesn't solve anything.
Nope. Normally gets worse.
Right. Yeah, for sure. All right, Riley, you feeling warmed up?
I am.
Dude, I would love, if you don't mind, let's start with kind of the origin of this story and kind of what
Okay.
led you to the intensive care unit and that moment when, it
Yeah.
kind of looked like your world was collapsing.
Yeah. I'll give you the short real quick. Somebody in a AA room once said, and I think it said great, it starts with fun, then it turns into fun with problems, and then it's nothing but problems. Um, and that is the best easy way to put it. But, so I was born in a smaller town, not too small, in central Montana, grew up playing sports, loved it. I mean, there was a time where God bless my parents because I was doing archery and then I would go to wrestling and I'd maybe skip a practice there and we would have basketball. And then once baseball season came around, they drove me all over the state of Montana, which, as you know, is bigger than most states combined to take me to baseball tournaments all over. And, I was very blessed to have parents that did that. And being an athlete really became like an identity, and especially tied around baseball. And as I got older, we moved to a place in the Flathead Valley, or like right by Glacier Park. I'm 30-minute drive to Glacier, or 40-minute drive to Glacier Park. I run trails there all the time. It's great. Went to high school here, better sports. It was it was like a dream come true for me. The baseball here was great. Played in a beautiful town of Whitefish, Montana. and I blew my elbow out. I had Tommy John surgery, and basically it felt like my identity got ripped away from me. I was no longer allowed to do the one thing that I loved. When I was younger, all the way back in Lewistown, I had one of those pitchbacks, which is just a net you throw a ball into, and so you can play catch with yourself. I would be out there for hours just doing that, and it was just all gone. I was hoping to go play college baseball and all those good dreams, and it was gone. I kind of went down the rodeo path. I kind of tried my hand at bareback and saddle bronc riding. I wasn't very good at it. I mainly got my butt kicked, but at the same time, I kind of everybody was drinking around me. Um,
Yeah.
and baseball, we partied. We did what was called B team bondings, which is we'd go up in the woods up by Glacier Park, have a big bonfire and party. And then soon the party became an everyday thing. Um, it was, well, I'm all alone. I'm kind of bored today. Might as well have a couple beers and play some video games. And then it turned into, okay, I'm really stressed out at work. I'm just gonna have a couple beers before I go home. And then it became, okay, now, my significant other knows that I'm drinking and she's mad, or my friends and family know, and I'm hiding bottles. And then all of a sudden, you wake up in the morning and you're shaking so bad, you're covered in sweat, and you wish that you were dead. And the only thing that's going to help you is what's making you sick. So you sleep with the bottle in your bed. And at
Mm.
3 in the morning, you wake up to drink so you don't have to feel that way. And, there's times where, I was living in my parents' shop, which was out back of their house, and I would be so sick I'd throw up, and the amount of blood that would be in my vomit that I'd vomit in the yard would scare me, and I'd try to forget about it, and I would be upset that I lost that alcohol, and I would drink more.
Uh,
And downward spiral, getting in trouble, losing jobs. You know, I
how old were you during this?
I started drinking when I was probably a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of started with drinking, smoking pot, doing all that, skipping school, um, and yeah, and I tried to get sober a couple times with the treatment, a few times. I think the longest I ever made it was like 60 days, if that. I was a pretty good liar. Lied to everybody. I mean, most of us alcoholics and addicts are.
Sure.
Never really worked. In and out of the hospital. Multiple suicide attempts. You know, it was a really tough time. Living living out of my truck for a little bit at the end there. Losing all my friends. My I wouldn't want to be around me either. I was a very mean person when I drank. And, luckily, this is, I ruptured my ACL playing rugby. I tried, I'm picking up all these new things, trying to figure out, well, I wanted to get healthy in a way. So I picked up rugby, then I ruptured my ACL. I'm not even kidding, like the second or first game ever playing rugby. And I had to get my ACL repaired. And my parents told me I can come move back in with them, for this recovery. I did, and that's kind of when I made that, what's called, like, I call it that jumping off point, or the turnaround point, where it's time. I have this time off of work. I got like 6 months off. I'm gonna get physically better because I was physically bad. My liver was shutting down. My liver was bad.
Mm.
Um, I mean, the vomiting of blood. I was gonna get better, and so I will go in. I have the surgery. I remember I drank the morning of my surgery. It was pretty sad. But that was the last drink I had. I had the surgery, and I was sitting in my parents' house, and I didn't even know it, but I started hallucinating, thinking that people were coming to like attack the house. It was bad. My parents decided to take me to the ER. I don't remember any of it. I just remember waking up in the ICU a couple days later and realizing this is insane. And
Mm.
then the butte stories after that.
What was it, when you wake up in the ICU unit, your parents there? Are you by
When I
yourself? Like,
first When I first woke up, I was all by myself, and they had an external catheter on me that was leaking, so I pissed myself. I was laying in my own urine, and I was all by myself. Yeah, I remember that very vividly. Yeah.
And was that when you were like, okay, I got to fix this?
No, honestly, I didn't feel anything at that moment. I was I was in shock. I don't think I was in shock. I knew I finally was there. I was
You
like,
did.
okay. In the back of my head, I always knew I was gonna die from alcoholism. I knew I was gonna die, and I kind of wanted to.
You did.
Yeah, I didn't want to wake up like that anymore. I didn't like disappointing everybody. I didn't like all that. It's just a spiral because then you drink to cover that up, and
Yeah.
I never knew about my issues of dealing with feeling inadequate and all of that I figured out, later on in treatment. It
Yeah.
it just spirals.
So talk to me about that conversation to send you to Butte and to get you into treatment. Were you open to it? Were you resistive? Like who'd you have
That
to
was
talk
all
to?
me. That was all
Oh,
me. I was like, all right, I'm going. And
you
I'm like,
did.
okay. So I called up the first treatment center I went to the last two times. They want to take me for my insurance and the fact that I was fresh out of knee surgery. I finally kind of got a little like, okay, um, we might be able to take you. And so I bugged them. I was calling them like crazy. Finally, like, well, you need to go to your surgeon, get cleared. So I'm like, okay. And I can't drive. So I'm like, talk to my parents, like, hey, we need to go up to the doctor. Let's do all this. And finally, they said, okay, we have a bed for you. Come on down. My parents brought me down there, but it was a fight just to get in because nobody wanted me with, fresh out of knee surgery. I mean, while I was there, I wasn't allowed to grab my own chair. I couldn't grab my own meal because I had to be on crutches the whole time. They
Right.
did this walk around the block there
Yeah.
that I tried the first day. I tell you what, that was probably harder than my first 50K. That was so hard. And I got in trouble to the point they were going to kick me out, that if they saw me without my crutches, they were going to kick me
Uh,
out. But I tell you what, coming from somebody who never really liked to ask for help, it taught me to ask for help real quick.
what was learning that like? Right. What was learning to put your ego aside and say it's okay to ask for help. I don't have to do everything myself and have all the answers. What was that process like for you?
So at first, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I felt inadequate, and that's kind of where I wanted to run from. But once I did, that was well, like asking for help was one thing for me, but actually following through and doing those actions were another. Once I asked and started following, I felt free. I didn't feel so chained up anymore. I felt like, okay, I don't know the way.
Right.
Like this person or this program knows the way. Okay, I can lean into this. I'm not strong on my own. I can lean into this and be strong.
Mm. Dude, that's so powerful to hear that and to recognize that, right? Like being humble enough to know when we need help.
Yeah, yeah, I think for me, it wasn't being humble. It was just enough was enough.
Yeah, you
Um,
hit that point.
yeah. I learned the hard way. I always have. Ask anybody around me. But yeah,
So when did running start becoming part of your recovery story? Because you weren't much of a runner prior to this, right?
no. In fact, I started running in the end of 2024. Then that was like a mile. Or no, I did 5K. I remember I was sitting on the couch with my girlfriend at the time, and one of my friends posted a photo that she ran the Whitefish Half Marathon. And I was like, oh God, that would be really cool. Now, keep this in mind. I played baseball. I hated hitting doubles because that meant I had to run more. I just, running was a punishment. I hated running the mile, hated it.
Yep.
Pacer test. I actually liked the pacer test. Maybe that's why I run ultras. I just like just punishment. But I saw her run this. I was like, God, that'd be cool to run a half marathon just once in my life. I said, if I give myself a full year, 365 days, I bet I could run a half marathon. So I said, okay, I'm going to do that. I said, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to sign up for a 5K. I need something to motivate me. So I
Yeah.
signed up for a 5K. I was kind of going to the gym. And this was at the time I just finished up PT on my knee and I was feeling pretty strong. I play softball still, but like I don't really do anything else. And I'm really competitive. So I go to the gym and I just bust out a 5K on the treadmill of like 45 minutes and I wanted to die. It was horrible. And then I remember my first 5K was just, it was the coolest thing ever. I thought, I got a medal. I thought it was great. And I wanted to show it to everybody. And then I realized, uh-oh, I'm going to go a little bit longer. Um, I was in EMT class at the time, and there was this called the Blazer 50K on Big Mountain, beautiful 50K. And I signed up to be a volunteer, a medical volunteer. And I'm at the halfway aid station. I'm seeing these people come rolling in. I'm like, oh, look at these psychos. I was like, I want to do
Yeah.
that. I was like, that looks amazing. I was like, okay. And they had races set up the next day. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do the longest one there. And it was a 10K, but for me, that was long at the time. And I think after that, that sealed it. And the next day or the next weekend, I went to one of the local mountains. I did 18 miles around it and I was hooked. And that I didn't actually do that half marathon. I did the full marathon instead.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is it that running provides you? What have you found there?
Discipline, peace, and a sense of pride. I'm working for something. Um, you know, the peace, maybe it's just because I like running in the mountains, but definitely the discipline. Since I've gotten sober, I'm very structured. I like routines. I don't like being late for things. I like everything to be exactly the same almost. That's why I like training blocks so much.
Yeah.
I like having everything lined out. I don't know. I used to not like stuff like that. I used to be like, I'm just gonna wing it, see what happens.
Yeah.
But
That's interesting. So how do you handle then when something goes wrong on the ultras? Because it's not like what's gonna go, like something's gonna go wrong. Something's gonna not go according to plan. How do you stay disciplined enough to be there, but flexible enough to solve it?
it comes into what's that old saying? Piss or what is it? Poor preparation, piss poor performance.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I have to have plans. But when something like this happens, what's like my procedure list, like my standing order or my standing orders? What do I need to do? Say if it's a blister on the foot, what do I need to do? Do I need to like plan Z, sit down, pop it? Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to apply some lube? Don't really get too many blisters. I'm pretty lucky there. Say I was really sick for that 50K that I ran this year, the following year after I did. And it was okay. I couldn't eat any solid food, and I PR'd the race by 2 hours for my 50K. But I had the flu. I work in an urgent care. I get sick all the time, and so it was okay. I can't eat solid food. What am I gonna do? We brought in a couple flavors of bone broth, and I actually drank bone broth the whole time along with my electrolytes, and had a little bit of bread,
Yeah.
and that was my entire fuel for a fast 50K.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, it's here. Um, okay, like it's here. Got to do something with it, and it's just what do the Marines say? Adapt and overcome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that's good. What have you done the Copper King 100 before, or is this your first time?
It's my first 100 miler, and I'm actually really excited about it because it starts and finishes right across the street from that treatment center I went to.
Right. That's what I was gonna ask you. What did you think when you found out, like, oh man, this is full circle here?
Ah, dude, I'm getting goosebumps right now. Well, I wanted to do a 100 miler so bad. It's been on my radar since I started this whole running journey, and I was looking him up. This was 2024, and I saw he was doing the fat ass race, and I was like, okay, so we only have one real like 100 miler in Montana. I'm like, okay. And then he said, then they came out and they did the inaugural year last year. And I was like, oh, I got to go back to Butte. It's just going to be great to run that in the same town. And then I go and I look at the map and I'm like, wait, the Belmont mine was right there. We used to walk right past that. Sure enough, I look and I got goosebumps. It, yeah, I'm still kind of speechless. It's insane. I actually am speaking there the night before.
Oh,
Should be pretty
dude.
good. I get to talk to the young men there and share my story,
Oh,
which
I
I'm very
love it.
excited about.
You know what's super interesting, Riley, is when you were talking about your first walk around the block on your crutches, right? So I have a lot of family in Butte, and we were actually back last year at the same time the Copper King was being run, and we went up to the finish line to watch finishers come in. And the residents at a treatment center were out on their walk at the same time. A bunch of people were coming in right around the 30-hour mark.
Yep, yep. That would have been the MCDC group.
Yeah, which is so cool, right? Because like, who know? And I think this goes back to what I was talking to you earlier about, is sharing your story and just being willing to put it out there. Like, who knows which one of the people in the program walking last year saw a runner come by and maybe got inspired to put their life in a totally different track.
Exactly. Like you never know. Like when I started making these like videos and stuff, it was more I want to remember this. Like I want to remember all this time and hard work I'm putting in. I'm loving it, but I want to remember it because it's a great time in my life. I haven't really been this happy in a long time, and I want to remember it. And I noticed some people started liking it, and then I was like, well, I bet if I could help at least like one person with my story, that'd be pretty cool. And then I was like, okay, if it comes around to like the whole full circle with the 100 miler, I'm like, maybe God's trying to tell me, hey, kind of giving you something here. Go help somebody, please.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good way to look at it, right? Like he's putting it right there in front of you.
Yeah. But I mean, it's all fun at the same time, and all we're doing is just being the best we can.
Yeah, but I think there's something to stepping up and taking that challenge, right? Stepping up to something where you're like, okay, this is gonna be hard, right? I don't think anybody goes into 100 mile. This is my first one as well, but so I'm just making some assumptions here. But I don't think anybody goes into it and goes, "Oh, this is super easy," right? Like stuff's gonna go wrong. You
Yeah.
know things aren't gonna be perfect. But what like attracts me to it is that there's 150 other people willing to share in that experience with you.
Right. I think that is such a amazing thing. Like, I'm talking to another guy who's also running it. He seems like a pretty cool guy, but like we're worried about the same thing. We're like a little nervous about the night section on the Nez Perce Trail about getting lost. And we're like, well, if we're probably running the same pace, we'll stick
Team
together.
up.
We'll take it slow, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all like, what are you nervous about? Like, okay, and it's great because we're doing this is a huge thing. I mean, it really is. Um, you look at I kind of fall down that YouTube rabbit hole of ultramarathon running where it's just another 100 miler with less than 20,000 feet of vert, but it's still it's 100 miles.
Yeah.
You know, you talk to most people, they're like, yeah, I'm not driving that far.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, dude, it's funny, right? It's funny you say that because I find because I love ultra marathon stuff. Trey and our son and I did a 30 miler last year,
Oh, nice.
and it went awful. It went
Yeah.
totally awful, dude. The
Those
first
are the
15,
best.
the first 15 miles we were on like record pace. The last 15 were terrible, and we immediately were like, "All right, next year we'll do 100." Like there was nothing in
I
between.
love that.
We were gonna do 30 again. We're like, no, we're going to Butte. We're doing the Copper King because we got family there. This is a big deal. And what I found, Riley, is I love consuming ultra stuff and like watching things, but I also need to separate it because sometimes I find myself, like you were saying, like it's to the pros, it's just another 15-hour 100 miler. And
Right.
like I might be halfway at that point. Like that's their
Right.
race is not my race. And what I love is I'm not competing with you. I'm competing with me in the trail,
Yeah, exactly.
and we can all be successful.
Exactly. And I think it's great too because when we run into each other on the trail, it's not like no, you stay behind me. It's, hey, you good? You got it? You got enough fluid? You got enough food? Like, all right, let's go. We're
Yeah.
helping each other out.
Yeah, it's funny you said you're afraid of getting lost. My son and I were doing a
I,
little
I
documentary.
downloaded the map already.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had to get on that.
Ah, that's funny. I haven't done it yet because I don't want it to take up my watch space because I have to download the
No.
trails down here in Bisbee that I'm running because I'm not that familiar with them. But we were joking that like I'm afraid of getting attacked by a grizzly bear, man.
Oh, not
Could
not
you?
out there, I don't think. No, I'm not worried about it out there.
How cool would it be? Like, think about that's a whole nother sport, Riley. It's 100 miler plus you wrestle a grizzly bear at some point in the course.
Sounds Russian. I love it. It
Dude,
sounds
it's
like
fun.
running in Glacier Park. Honestly, I ran into a grizz sow and two cubs last year on the Highline Trail. Got off trail. Ooh, I didn't know she had cubs until I saw the cubs, and I was a little nervous.
Oh man, yeah. Did your splits pick up drastically at that point?
Oh no, I saw me go way off trail. I got way
Oh,
off trail and let her pass. Yeah. She didn't
yeah.
even look. I got a pretty good video. I think it's on my Instagram. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fine. So what are your part of this series of June is sharing some stories about the Copper King. Just 'cause I just love the personal connection and the
Oh
people
yeah.
getting out there. So what do you think is your biggest challenge coming into something like that? Your first 100 miler, what you're like, okay, I think this is my biggest thing I have to overcome.
I'm not trying to win the damn race, honestly. Um, I go out so hard a lot, especially now that I'm becoming a lot more competitive in shorter races, like in the 10K to half marathon, that I just want to go hard. That I'd say that and just staying awake would be the best. I've done some night training where like I do a full shift at the urgent clinic, and then I come here and I did 50 miles one day on this treadmill, staring at that wall after working a shift at the clinic to just know what it felt like to be so deprived and mentally just drained.
Yeah,
And so I'd say probably that.
the staying awake.
Yeah, and to the point where I'm not tripping over rocks and, busting my butt.
Yeah. What are you hoping you'd learn about yourself out there?
Whatever God wants to tell me. That's what I'm there to find out.
Yeah. Are you a music guy when you run, or do you keep your ears open and listen to nature?
I do a little bit of both. Especially on longer runs, I like to split it up. Kind of use music as a reward. Audiobooks, especially the audiobooks where they sound like where they have like a full cast. That's
Yeah.
just amazing. I could run all day listening to that. I mean, 10 hours is nonstop. Listen to that pretty easy. But yeah, listen to music. I like good 90s country actually when I run like Chris Ledoux and
Okay.
like older Tim McGraw's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, George Strait, and then sometimes I listen to him like techno remix, which is kind of interesting.
Techno country?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It'll get you moving pretty quick on the trails. You should check it out.
Well, yeah, I didn't even know that was a genre. Yeah, I have to give that a listen every now and then. What what would you say to the other people that are showing up for the race or that are either the Copper King or they're just listening and they're like, man, I want to do something hard too, but I just can't get that first step. What would you say to them?
All you need is the 5 minutes of complete insane blind confidence on Ultra sign up, and you'll do it. You'll be fine. Just sign up and just start moving. You'll be fine. Like last year I absolutely fell in love with Cocodona and what everything Cocodona is. And so this year I was like, well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna at least put it. I didn't know it was gonna be a lottery. I was just hoping to get in and sign up right away. But like that scares me so much. I mean, 100 miles scares me, but Cocodona also scares me. So it's just like I'm signing up. Let's see what happens. If I DNF, I DNF. But DNF really only stands for do not fear.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 250 miles.
yeah, we'll see.
What'd you speaking of Cocodona, what'd you think of that race this past week?
It was an amazing race. I love it. For all the way from the Rachel just killing it to our final
Amazing.
finisher. I was watching that live at the clinic. We were slow, and I had the
Yeah.
doctors around me, and they're like, "Oh, he doesn't look good." And just watching with a bunch of doctors and talking ultramarathon is great. Trust me.
They
But
don't, I'm assuming they don't recommend that in the health protocols.
no, no, they just keep waiting for the day they want to draw a whole bunch of blood on me after this 100 miler and
Really?
see where all my levels are.
What do they think? What do your teammates and your peers now think of you, this new version of Ryley?
I don't know. I don't know. They think I'm crazy. They had the local running community put on this. If you ran the longest distance of these races, you won this thing. You won an award. And it was the last two races were a 50K. The one weekend and the weekend right after was a 50 miler. And I never ran a 50 miler, but I decided to sign up for both of them and ended up winning that thing. And I think that was when people were like, huh. At least one of my friends told me, it's like, so you're actually going to start taking this seriously, or are you going to quit after this? And I was like, I think I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to get that feedback. What is your goal for Copper King?
Uh, 28 hours is what I have planned.
So that's what you got your training tried to dial in for, is a 28-hour finish?
Yeah, my training's dialed more for closer to 20. But I'm planning on 28. But
Yeah,
in reality, I just want to finish. I want to have a good time. We used to drive through Butte on our summer vacations from Lewistown to, Anaconda over there's got that Fairmont
yeah,
Hot Springs. We used to
yeah.
go there every year. And, we'd be driving through, you see the pit, you look up, you'd see Mother Mary. And I'm so excited to run up to Mother Mary. That is going to be, because I used to sit there and, stare at her out the car window on the way to vacation every year. So, I just want to enjoy it. I want to see everything. I want to experience it all. I want to feel the pain. I want to feel the highs and all the lows. So I just want to experience it all.
Yeah, there's something about that, right? Like knowing you're gonna go through everything in a 24-hour period.
Hmm.
What would what advice would today's Ryley give that Ryley that was on the brink of not being here? What would you tell that version of yourself?
Do not give up before the miracle happens. It's coming. It really is. Just don't give up. Even if you're moving an inch forward a day or a centimeter forward a day, just move a little bit.
Forward is a pace, right?
Forward is a pace. And I really I tell people all the time, especially to like the docs at work who tell me you're running too much. I just say, no, an object in motion stays in motion.
Momentum.
Exactly. I believe momentum. I believe in it. Keep it
Yeah.
rolling.
Yeah, the episode that we just released last week was momentum over motivation, and I broke down the importance of just getting things going, not waiting until you feel like it's gonna be perfect, but just moving the ball, moving the needle today,
That is so true. It is so true.
right? Yeah, I mean, that's honestly, that's one of my biggest lessons, because I was like you, I've been an athlete my whole life, and running was always a punishment to either lose weight or because we didn't play well, right? Like, it was never something we did on our own, and now when I run, I'm like, okay, I have 100 miles, but I can't just get out of bed and be at 100 miles. Like, I have to run the first mile and the second. So I might as well enjoy the first quarter of the first mile, or this is just a complete waste of all of our time. Like, why are we not having fun
Exactly.
with this?
Right? We paid for it anyway. We might as well enjoy it.
We've paid for it, and there's food, dude. What
Right?
sport has exercise and snacks? Like, that's the best sport ever.
But it's the best sport. I mean, I tell people all the time, I'm like, yeah, you just run restaurant to restaurant, and they ask me what I eat, and I'm like, well, kind of whatever I want. Normally, I got candy here. I'm not a gel guy, so I got candy here. Uncrustables are a lifesaver. Watermelon, Coca-Cola, and they just look at me. I'm like, oh yeah, and then ramen quesadillas. I had a baked potato one time. That was great. They just stare at me like, best
Yeah,
food you'll ever eat.
yeah, you're putting out the energy for sure. Riley, what would you say to our community members that are listening and just aren't sure anymore? Just aren't sure
That's
about.
fine. It's okay to not be unsure. It's
Mm,
okay to have those bad days. Do it again tomorrow. Just try again. Just try again. You have another day. Like I said, just move forward a little bit. It doesn't have to be sign up for a 100-mile race. It doesn't have to be sign up for a 5K. It doesn't have to be run a mile. It could be what find what maybe that old joy was when you were younger. Maybe it's fishing for somebody. I know a lot of friends that have just started going back and hunting again, and how happy they are that they get to go hunting again. You know, it's okay to just not be okay sometimes, but just to identify it and let
yeah.
yourself feel it. Because if you don't do it, you're just bottling it up and it gets worse.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you before we wrap up, do you have a checkpoint for yourself or a system where you realize, okay, I should be asking for help right now, but I haven't, to keep you from falling back to the ego driven where we think we solve everything ourselves?
Yeah, I do, and it's actually it's how I act in traffic is my gauge. If somebody cuts me off and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm okay. Somebody
Okay.
cuts me off and I was flipping the bird and I'm yelling every obscenity I can think out the window. Okay, something needs to happen, but I think that puts it great for me.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good barometer.
Yes, it is.
That's good. Riley, where can our audience follow your journey and connect with all the good you're doing in the world, my friend?
I am on TikTok and Instagram. Riley Runs Montana. It's just Ryley Runs Montana.
Yeah,
That's
dude. Well,
about it.
keep up.
I think I'm on YouTube. I don't know.
You
I'm just
don't know
kind
if you're on
of getting
YouTube.
into this, though.
All right. Well, this will be on YouTube for sure, man. We'll put your links in the show notes. And Riley, I want to tell you again, thanks for what you're doing, my friend. Thanks for sharing your story, the highs, the lows, and all the realness. And dude, if you're finishing in 20 hours, I'm definitely not keeping up with you. 28, I could maybe run alongside of you for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, that's pretty rough, but that's what I'm really hoping for.
Yeah, dude, I love it, man. I'm excited to be up there and to share some time with you. And again, keep up the good work and thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you, man.